You ever notice how the most dangerous moments in life don't come when you're tired, they come when your mind is loud? Not when you failed, not when you're losing, but when you're thinking too much, reacting to everything, and fighting battles that don't even matter. Right now, somewhere inside you, there's a version of you that doesn't panic, a version that doesn't rush, a version that doesn't break under pressure. And that version is calm, but you've buried it under noise, deadlines, expectations, opinions, comparisons, endless scrolling, endless reacting, endless worrying about things you can't control. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another speech telling you to work harder. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. What you need is to slow down your breathing and wake up your focus. Because strength doesn't disappear. It gets suffocated. Think about this for a second. Have you ever been so tense that you made a mistake you never make? You overthought a simple move. You rushed a decision. You snapped at the wrong moment. Not because you're incapable, but because you were tight, locked up, mentally crowded. That's not weakness. That's pressure with no direction. A calm mind sees openings. A frantic mind swings wildly. And right now, life is testing you, not to see how hard you can push, but to see if you can stay composed when everything feels heavy. You've been trying to fight the storm instead of becoming still inside it. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The strongest people in the world don't live in constant aggression. They know when to breathe. They know when to wait. They know when to strike. If you feel lost, exhausted, or stuck, it's not because you're broken. It's because you've been running at full speed with no clear target. So before you judge yourself, before you call yourself weak, before you quit on who you could become, pause, relax your shoulders, quiet the noise, and listen closely, because once you learn how to relax and refocus, you won't recognize the person you're about to become. You're not weak. You've just been pushed into a world that never shuts up. A world that demands your attention every second, pulls you in 10 different directions, and then blames you when you feel drained. Weakness isn't the problem. Overstimulation is. Your mind was never designed to process this much noise, this many opinions, this many expectations at once. Yet every day you wake up and immediately plug into chaos, messages, notifications, pressure to perform, pressure to compare, pressure to keep up. By the time you even try to focus, your mental energy is already gone. Think about it. When did you last sit in silence without reaching for your phone? When did you last do one thing without your mind racing ahead to the next? Your thoughts aren't failing you, they're exhausted. You're asking a tired mind to make sharp decisions, to stay disciplined, to be confident while it's drowning in information. That's not weakness. That's overload. You're carrying too much that doesn't belong to you. Other people's expectations, other people's timelines, other people's definitions of success. You absorb opinions from strangers who don't know your story, your pain, or your potential. Every comparison chips away at your focus. Every unnecessary worry drains a little more strength. And then you wonder why you feel heavy, slow, and unmotivated. It's because your mental muscles are constantly clenched. A muscle that never relaxes doesn't get stronger, it breaks down. Overstimulation doesn't just steal your energy, it steals your self-belief. When your mind is constantly reacting, you stop trusting yourself. You second-guess decisions you already know the answer to. You hesitate when you should move. You rush when you should wait. Not because you lack ability, but because your inner signal is buried under static. Imagine trying to hear your own voice in a room where everyone is shouting. Eventually, you stop listening. Eventually, you think you have nothing valuable to say. This is why even capable people feel stuck. Not lazy, not undisciplined, just mentally crowded. You try to push harder, thinking effort is the solution. But pushing on an overloaded system only creates more tension. It's like flooring the accelerator when the engine is overheating. You don't need more force. You need space. Your nervous system is tired of being on alert all the time. Every notification feels urgent. Every problem feels like an emergency. Your body stays tense even when nothing is happening. That constant state of readiness drains your confidence and your creativity. You're not failing because you can't handle life. You're struggling because you've been handling too much of it at once. Look at moments when you felt powerful in the past. Chances are you weren't frantic. You weren't scattered. You were clear, focused, present. Strength showed up when your mind wasn't split into pieces. That's your natural state. Calm focus isn't something you have to learn. It's something you return to once the noise is stripped away. You don't need to become someone new to feel strong again. You need to stop feeding everything that's weakening you. Less reacting, less comparing, less mental clutter, more intentional pauses, more silence, more choosing what deserves your attention. When you protect your focus, your strength comes back on its own. Understand this deeply. A relaxed mind is not an unmotivated mind. It's a ready mind. When the overload fades, your instincts sharpen, your confidence stabilizes, your energy returns. The fire you thought you lost was never gone. It was just buried under too much noise. So stop calling yourself weak. That story doesn't serve you. You're not broken, defective, or behind. You're overstimulated, overloaded, and overdue for mental clarity. Once you give yourself permission to slow the noise and reclaim your focus, you'll realize something powerful. The strength you've been searching for has been inside you the whole time, waiting for silence to bring it back. Relaxing is not quitting. It never was. Quitting is giving up on who you are meant to become. Relaxing is stepping back so you don't destroy yourself before you even get there. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that if you slow down, you're falling behind, that if you pause, someone else will pass you. That rest means weakness, but that belief has been quietly draining you, making you tense, reactive, and mentally sloppy. A mind that never relaxes doesn't stay sharp, it loses precision. Think about any powerful tool. You don't keep it firing nonstop until it breaks. You maintain it, you clean it, you reset it. The same rule applies to you. When your body is tight and your mind is racing, you're not dangerous, you're inefficient. You waste energy on unnecessary movements, emotional reactions, and impulsive decisions. Relaxation is not the absence of intensity. It's the foundation of controlled intensity. It's the moment where chaos turns into clarity. Most people confuse relaxation with comfort. They think relaxing means escaping responsibility, numbing themselves, or avoiding hard things. That's not relaxation, that's hiding. Real relaxation is active. It's intentional. It's when you consciously lower the noise so you can hear your instincts again. It's when you step out of survival mode and back into control mode. From that place, your actions become cleaner, faster, and more deliberate. When you're constantly tense, you're fighting yourself. Every task feels heavier than it should. Every setback feels personal. You react emotionally instead of strategically. That's not because you lack toughness. It's because you've been locked in a mental clinch for too long. You don't need to prove how hard you can push. You need to prove that you can stay calm when pressure is on. Calm is not passive, it's dominant. Relaxing allows you to see the situation as it is, not as your anxiety paints it. When you slow your breathing, your thoughts slow down. When your thoughts slow down, your judgment improves. You stop chasing everything at once and start choosing what actually matters. That's where power comes from. Power is not frantic effort. Power is direction. Some of your best moments probably came when you stopped forcing things, when you trusted your preparation, when you let go of panic and just moved. That's the state you're trying to return to. Relaxation clears out mental interference. It doesn't make you soft, it makes you precise. A relaxed mind doesn't hesitate because it knows what it's doing. The world will try to rush you. It will make you feel guilty for slowing down, as if your worth is measured by exhaustion. Don't fall for that trap. Burnout doesn't make you stronger. It makes you careless. A weapon that's overheated misfires. A mind that's overstressed makes mistakes. Resetting is not stepping away from the fight. It's preparing to win it. When you relax, you reconnect with patience. And patience is lethal. It allows you to wait for the right moment instead of forcing the wrong one. It keeps you from wasting energy on battles that don't matter. It reminds you that timing is as important as effort. The strongest move isn't always the fastest one. It's the most controlled one. You don't need to live at maximum intensity to be disciplined. Discipline also means knowing when to pause so you don't self-destruct. It means respecting your limits without letting them define you. Relaxation isn't the enemy of ambition. It's what keeps ambition alive long enough to succeed. So stop treating rest like betrayal. Stop acting like slowing down means you've lost your edge. You haven't. You're sharpening it. When you relax, you reset your nervous system, your focus, and your intent. You come back clearer, calmer, and more dangerous than before. Quitting is walking away from the mission. Relaxing is checking your stance, steadying your breath, and locking your eyes back on the target. And when you move again, you won't move out of panic, you'll move with purpose. Distraction is not harmless. It doesn't just steal time, it steals direction. And when direction is gone, even the strongest person starts to drift. You don't fall apart all at once. You lose yourself slowly. One broken focus at a time, one notification, one unnecessary thought, one moment where your attention goes somewhere it doesn't belong. And before you realize it, your energy is scattered and your progress is stalled. This is why refocusing is not optional. It's survival. Your attention is your most valuable weapon. And right now it's under constant attack. Every platform, every device, every voice is competing to pull you away from what actually matters. Not because it serves you, but because it feeds on your focus. The more distracted you are, the easier you are to control. You react instead of choosing. You consume instead of creating. You stay busy but never truly move forward. That's how potential gets destroyed without a fight. Distraction weakens you by dividing your mind. You start 10 things and finish none. You plan big but execute small. You feel tired even though haven't done anything meaningful. That kind of exhaustion is dangerous because it makes you question yourself. You start thinking you lack discipline or drive, when in reality, your focus has been hijacked. A scattered mind cannot build momentum. It only spins in circles. Refocusing means making hard choices. It means deciding that not everything deserves your attention. It means accepting that some things will be left unread, unanswered, and unfinished, and that's okay. Strength is not about responding to everything. Strength is about committing to what matters most and letting the rest fall away. When you refocus, you stop leaking energy. You stop living reactively. You regain control. There will always be noise. Waiting for the perfect quiet moment is an excuse. Refocus doesn't mean eliminating distraction. It means training yourself to return to the target faster. You will drift. That's human. The discipline is in catching yourself and coming back without guilt, without frustration, without self-judgment. Every time you refocus, you strengthen that mental muscle. Over time, it becomes automatic. Focus becomes your default. Distraction feels easy because it demands nothing from you. It numbs discomfort. It delays responsibility. But the cost is invisible until it's massive. Years pass. Opportunities fade. And one day you realize you've been busy your entire life, but never truly present. Refocusing is uncomfortable because it forces you to face the work, the silence, and the resistance inside you. But that discomfort is the gateway to growth. When you refocus, your actions gain weight. An hour of deep focus outweighs 10 hours of scattered effort. Your confidence rises not because you're doing more, but because you're doing what matters. You stop chasing motivation and start building momentum. Momentum is born from consistency, and consistency requires focus. This is how ordinary effort turns into extraordinary results. You don't need to multitask to be effective. Multitasking is just distraction wearing a productivity mask. Real progress comes from immersion, from giving your full attention to one thing and doing it with intention. When your mind is fully engaged, time bends. You enter a state where effort feels natural and resistance fades. That state is available to you, but only if you protect your focus. Refocus also means cutting emotional distractions, old regrets, imaginary futures, conversations that already ended. You cannot change the past and you cannot control every outcome, but you can control where your mind is right now. Presence is power. The moment you bring your attention back to what's in front of you, you reclaim authority over yourself. If you don't refocus, distraction will decide your life for you. It will choose your habits, your priorities, and your limits. Not aggressively, quietly, comfortably. Until one day you look back and realize you never aimed at anything long enough to hit it. That's not a future you want. So refocus again and again, even when you fail, especially when you fail. Every return to focus is an act of self-respect. It's you saying, my attention matters. My life matters. And once you master that, distraction loses its power. Because a focused mind is not easily destroyed. Pressure isn't the enemy. The real enemy is the way you resist it. Most people waste their strength fighting the feeling of pressure instead of learning how to use it. They tense up, panic, and start questioning themselves the moment things get heavy. But pressure itself is neutral. It doesn't weaken you, it reveals you. And when you stop fighting yourself, pressure turns into power. Think about how pressure shows up in your life. Deadlines, expectations, fear of failure, the weight of responsibility. None of that is new. What's new is how personal you make it. You tell yourself the pressure means you're not ready, that it's a sign you're about to break. But pressure only feels overwhelming when your mind is divided, when part of you wants to move forward and another part is running away. That internal conflict drains more energy than the pressure ever could. The moment you accept pressure instead of resisting it, something shifts. Your breathing steadies. Your thoughts sharpen. You stop wasting energy on what if and start focusing on what now. Acceptance doesn't mean surrendering. It means aligning your mind with the reality in front of you. When you stop arguing with the situation, all your strength goes into action. Pressure forces you to become present. It strips away distractions, excuses, and unnecessary movements. Under pressure, there's no room for ego, no room for pretending. That's why it's such a powerful teacher. It demands honesty. If you're unfocused, it exposes you. If you're prepared, it elevates you. The key is not to flinch when that moment arrives. Fighting yourself looks like overthinking every move. It looks like doubting your instincts right when you need them most. It looks like trying to control outcomes instead of controlling your effort. When you do that, pressure multiplies. It becomes heavy, suffocating. But when you trust your training, your preparation, your ability to adapt, pressure becomes fuel. It sharpens your execution. It gives urgency to your actions. You weren't meant to live a pressure-free life. Growth demands tension. Progress requires resistance. Just like muscles grow under stress, your character is shaped under pressure. Avoiding it keeps you comfortable but small. Embracing it forces you to rise. The goal isn't to eliminate pressure, it's to become someone who functions well inside it. There's a quiet confidence that comes from this shift. You stop needing reassurance. You stop needing perfect conditions. You understand that pressure will always be there, so you stop wasting time wishing it away. Instead, you learn to move with it. That's when power shows up. Not loud, not aggressive. Controlled. Pressure also humbles you. It reminds you that you don't control everything, and that's okay. You only control your response. When you stop fighting what you can't control, your mind frees up to handle what you can. That clarity is powerful. It keeps you from spiraling. It keeps you grounded. The strongest version of you is not the one who feels no fear. It's the one who acts despite it. Pressure will always bring fear along for the ride. The mistake is thinking fear means stop. It doesn't. It means pay attention. Focus. Commit. When fear and pressure are accepted, they sharpen your awareness instead of paralyzing you. You don't need to become harder on yourself. You need to become more aligned. Stop tearing yourself apart mentally. Stop questioning your worth in difficult moments. Pressure is not proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're in the arena, that you're doing something that matters. Once you stop fighting yourself, pressure stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like a signal. A signal to lock in, to simplify, to trust what you've built. That's where power comes from. Not from avoiding pressure, but from standing still inside it and letting it bring out your best. A calm mind is not passive. It's not soft. It's not slow. A calm mind is dangerous because it sees clearly. When your mind is calm, you're no longer trapped in emotional reactions or mental chaos. You're present, grounded, aware. And from that state, action becomes ruthless, not reckless, not emotional, but precise. This is where excuses die. Most excuses are born from noise, overthinking, fear, the need to feel ready before moving. A restless mind looks for comfort, for justification, for delay. It negotiates, it explains, it complains. But a calm mind doesn't argue with itself. It decides, and then it moves. No drama, no hesitation, just execution. Ruthless action doesn't mean aggression toward others. It means honesty with yourself. It means cutting away behaviors that waste time, even when they feel good. It means showing up when motivation is gone. It means doing the work quietly, repeatedly, without needing validation. That kind of action can only come from calm. Chaos creates excuses. Calm creates commitment. When your mind is calm, you stop reacting to every emotion that passes through you. You feel fear without obeying it. You feel doubt without feeding it. You feel discomfort without escaping it. That's power. Most people are controlled by their emotions because they think feelings are commands. They're not. They're signals. A calm mind understands the difference. Excuses also disappear when you accept responsibility fully. Not blame, responsibility. Blame looks outward. Responsibility looks inward. A calm mind doesn't waste energy pointing fingers. It asks one question: what's my move? And then it makes it over and over again. That's how progress compounds. Ruthless action is simple, not complicated. Wake up. Do the work. Improve a little. Repeat. The mind that's addicted to stimulation wants complexity, it wants novelty, it wants shortcuts. But calm strips everything down to fundamentals. And fundamentals done consistently are unstoppable. There will be days when nothing feels right. Days when you're tired, frustrated, uninspired. Ruthless action doesn't wait for the perfect feeling. It understands that discipline is emotional independence. You act because it's time to act, not because you feel like it. Calm helps you see that feelings come and go, but commitments stay. No more excuses also means no more self-deception. You stop lying to yourself about why things aren't happening. You stop romanticizing potential and start respecting effort. A calm mind isn't cruel, but it is direct. It doesn't sugarcoat reality. It faces it, and that honesty builds confidence. When you live this way, your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does. That shift is powerful. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens inevitably when calm thinking meets consistent action. You won't always feel strong. You won't always feel certain, but you don't need to. A calm mind keeps you steady. Ruthless action keeps you moving. Together they eliminate excuses not by force, but by irrelevance. Excuses fade when results start showing up. This is the standard. Calm your mind. Strip away the noise. Focus on what matters, then act without negotiation, without delay. Not once, not sometimes, every day. That's how you build a life that doesn't need excuses. So understand this and understand it clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. You were never weak. You were overwhelmed. You were noisy inside. You were fighting yourself instead of directing yourself. The moment you stop panicking and start breathing with intention, everything changes. The moment you stop reacting and start choosing, you take your power back. A calm mind isn't the end of your fire. It's the beginning of control. And control is what separates people who almost make it from people who dominate their path. You don't need a new life. You need a new standard. Calm under pressure. Focused on what matters. Ruthless with action. Zero tolerance for excuses. The world doesn't reward chaos. It rewards clarity. It rewards those who can stay composed when others collapse. Who can slow down when everything is trying to rush them. Who can lock in when distraction is everywhere. From this moment forward, stop calling exhaustion weakness. Stop calling hesitation fear. Call it what it really is, a signal to reset, refocus, and move with purpose. You already have everything you need. The strength, the discipline, the instinct. All of it comes back the second you quiet the noise and commit to action. Calm your mind, choose your target, move without hesitation. No more waiting, no more excuses. This is where you take control.